Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for being here. My name is Andrew, coming to you from the beautiful Carolinas. Today's topic is going to be, you can't see it because you are in it. Think about that for a minute. Everyone, if you like the content, please like, subscribe, share, pay it forward to someone who can use the wisdom, help somebody out who doesn't even know that they need help. So I'll jump right in. You can't see it because you are in it. This is in reference to the narcissistic abusive cycle. Many times it is too late. You are already entrenched in the relationship and you don't know what's going on. Remember, the narcissist had you perhaps enter the relationship under false pretenses. They wore a mask, they manipulated you, they got you to do what they wanted you to do for a period of time, which was the length of the relationship, I can assure you that. But the point is, when you're in it, many times, A, it's too late. B, you don't know what you're up against because you weren't taught this in school, i.e. Narcissism 101 through graduate level. But now you're getting the wisdom on my channel. You're acquiring the message. You're understanding your value. You're now putting the pieces of the puzzle together and identifying that, in fact, this individual or individuals has been taking advantage of you throughout the whole relationship, whether you knew it or not. Perhaps just recently, certain ideas and or thoughts are crossing your mind as to, wow, that's what that was. That was strange, and that behavior happened 3, 5, 10, 15 years ago, but you brushed it aside. The reason you brushed it aside is because, again, you didn't know that these individuals were narcissists or certainly toxic individuals. And more importantly, you thought that everybody or most people on the planet had your best interest at heart. They don't, they won't, and they never will. That is a very difficult and tough pill to swallow. I get it. But honestly, that is the planet we live on these days. And you need to have boundaries. You need to not be a people pleaser. You need to learn to say no, the strongest word in the English language. You need to save your energy for yourself. I've created many videos on all of those topics, specifically recently. Please check them out. Point being, you can't see it because you are in it. Let's say right now, as an example, you are trying to remove yourself from the toxic narcissistic relationship. Perhaps you're married to them, perhaps it's your mom or dad, aunt, uncle, perhaps it's your child, an adult child, who knows? Maybe it's your neighbor, coworker, person you're in business with, person in a community and or organization you are and or were a part of. You're trying to remove yourself from that relationship. Well, what happens? Well, I'll tell you right now. First of all, there are many pro tips for how to do that. That's not for this video, but first of all, you need to identify that this person has been manipulating you and taking advantage of you for a long period of time. And their actions are not matching their words. In other words, many times they would say, yeah, I'll be there, I'll help you out. No problem. How about Saturday at 2 o'clock? And you're like, sounds great, thanks. But let's say you're moving apartments or something, or houses. And it's Saturday at 2 o'clock and no call, no show. Where are they? Well, they just ghosted you. And now you've got to figure out quickly how to get movers to help you move and or do it all yourself. But now you're in a time crunch because this person told you that they would be there to help you out, and they did nothing of the kind. They sat back on the sidelines and watched you text them frantically, asking where they are. Are they going to show up? What's going on? What you were doing is you were giving them supply. You didn't realize it. And what they knew is they weren't going to help you lift a finger to help you move, but they told you they would. And when you really needed them, they were nowhere to be found. And then Monday morning rolls around after you put that fire out and you got your gear moved to the new apartment. Then they finally show up and then they check in with you. Hey, how's it going? What's going on? And you're like, what's going on is I missed you on Saturday at 2 o'clock. Where were you? And they're like, what are you talking about? I didn't say anything. I wasn't going to be there. And then you're like, well, no, check out the text. This is evidence. And they're like, oh, I don't remember that. And then you're like, wow, again? That's one way. Or another way is they could say, hey, totally slipped my mind. I got a flat tire, sorry. Or my phone battery died. Tough luck. Things like that. And what do they expect? They expect you to tolerate that poor behavior. Now, more and more frequently, people are becoming awakened and aware on the planet. They're understanding that their energy is an extremely valuable commodity. It's not gold. It's not other things you may think. Time and your energy, these two are vital. And the narcissists control both of these and so much more when you were in the relationship with them. But the point is, now you're getting the wisdom on my channel and you're now applying the tools that I'm sharing with you. And you're understanding that your time is the #1 most valuable commodity, in my opinion. I stand by that and I will never change my mind. And yes, I understand that some people believe time doesn't exist. You can think whatever you want to. I understand exactly my concept of time. Point being, time is your #1 commodity. And when you were with the narcissist, your time wasn't your time. Your time was their time. And they knew that. Same thing with your energy. Your energy, most likely, you thought you were contributing, giving to a fault, working towards the same goals, dreams, aspirations, perhaps building a family, creating a business, whatever you were doing, planning for the future, and you were. But what was the narcissist doing? They were trying to puncture and or punch holes in that boat that was capsizing each and every day that you were trying to steer towards the shore. They weren't working with you, they were working against you. Play that again. The narcissist never had your best interest at heart. You may think they did. They didn't. Think about it. What was your purpose when you were in the narcissistic relationship? Was it to be an ATM machine, to provide a roof for them, to raise their kids, to teach their kids, to plan vacations and pay for vacations, to tolerate their poor behavior, to pay for extended family members' trips all over the globe, to pay tuitions, to be a sounding board, to be a chauffeur, to be an errand person, to be a cook? What was your purpose? I'll tell you right now, it was whatever purpose the narcissist had for you that day. The day, each and every day, of the endless to-do list that you would be given. And when that list was up, another list would pop up the next day. It would be longer and on and on and on. In other words, you were always being controlled and manipulated by the narcissist. You couldn't just be. Now, post-narcissistic relationship, you can. You can actually put your hair down and just be. You can wear whatever clothes you want to. You can cut your hair how you want to. You can speak with whom you want to, when you want to, in whatever time you want to. You are drowning out the narcissist. You are going no contact. You are blocking them, removing all people and flying monkeys associated with the narcissist. You are understanding your value. And you're understanding that this relationship did not serve you then. It can't serve you now, and it will never serve you in the future. But when you're in it, you can't see it. Why I say that is because many times when you're involved with something, it is very difficult and or challenging to reflect back on you when you're actually in the moment. That's why many times you need another individual to bounce things off of, which is why I create the videos. That's why I coach. That's why I teach people to get across the bridge. Just like the one behind me, you can cross the bridge to my side. You can get to the pinnacle of indifference, the mountaintop of indifference, where you don't care about the narcissist. You don't give them your energy. You reframe any rumination. You focus on yourself. You understand that this relationship that you were a part of, or perhaps multiple relationships, you had to go through them. There was no other way. Remember, you may think to yourself that you could have done A, B, and C, and that you didn't give everything to the relationship. Number one, if you're on the video and you made it this far, I can assure you, you gave everything and more. Number two, remember, each and every narcissistic relationship has an expiration date. It's simply a matter of time when it ends. When the narcissist will discard you, or when you will wise up and exit the relationship. The third outcome there is you stay trapped in the narcissistic fog. You never get the wisdom, and you stay entrenched in that zombie-like, trance-like state where you are existing, you're not living, and you are still being abused each and every day, insidiously, slowly, and all of your resources are becoming depreciated. That is exactly where each and every one of us were, and perhaps some of you are, for a period of time until you got the wisdom. Now again, when you're in it, you can't see it. This is so true. Think about, like I shared a moment ago, say you're trying to remove yourself from the relationship. Well, what are you trying to do? I'll tell you, number one, you're trying to educate yourself on the narcissistic abusive cycle, number one. Number two, you're trying to wrap your head around the fact that this person never loved you or never cared about you. Number three, you're putting many, many pieces of the puzzle together over the body of the relationship, trying to figure out what they meant when they said this, why they did that. And you are now learning the terms, the glossary, the definitions on narcissism. You are coupling all of these things together, and now you are also journaling, you are meditating, you are slowing your life down, you are healing, you are seeing a therapist who perhaps unfortunately is an experienced narcissistic abuse survivor. You are also perhaps healing childhood wounds, etc. But you're doing all these things at once. Put all those aside for a moment. What are you also doing? You're trying to remove yourself from the relationship. That in and of itself is a huge challenge, and I do emphasize the word huge. It's a massive challenge. Say you're trying to divorce the narcissist. Well, is the narcissist going to make it easy on you and just sign the papers and say, okay, yep, let's get divorced and let's move forward and you know, it didn't work out? No, that's not going to happen. What's going to happen is the narcissist is going to play the long game, the waiting game. They're going to drag it out. They're going to keep you isolated, perhaps even in your own house. They're going to keep you contingent. They're going to keep you waiting for them to sign the papers. They're going to keep you waiting for the response that may or may not ever come. The narcissist knows what they're doing. Remember, they are a master manipulator, and they game the system very well. They know the loopholes. They know exactly what to do and how to inflict the most damage. I'll tell you why. Because the relationship you are in with them, that wasn't the first time they did this. I'm certain they've done it multiple times. Now, not exclusively divorce, but dragging out the discomfort and the pain of the ending of the relationship. They know exactly what they're doing. Keep in mind, the narcissist cannot love. They have no empathy. They care about one person, and it is themselves. They don't care about anybody else on the planet. And you may say, well, what about the narcissist if they have children? What about that? Well, think about it. What is a child to the narcissist? Ding, ding, ding. Supply central. That's right. That's what it is. That's what they are. They are supply when they're babies. They're supply when they're little kids. They're supply when they're teenagers. And as they get older, they become built-in supply again because they're being abused as adults who are trying to raise their own families if they're stable and healthy, and the narcissist won't let them go. In other words, the narcissist is still guilting them or blaming them or playing the victim that they gave birth to them and that they owe them something. Understand all these messages. I'm unpacking a lot for you today. Point being is when you're in it, you can't see it because you can't wrap your head around the fact that this person never loved you or didn't care about you or doesn't care about you. Number two, you can't understand, let's say you got discarded. How can you wrap your head around the darkness of the pupils of the eyes you looked into and the disdain they had for you and how much they didn't care about you and how much they showed you that they actually want to devastate you? Yes, they do. Believe me when I tell you, there is no love there. There's no empathy. There's no of that fake batting of the eyelashes when you first met the narcissist or the rosy colored cheeks or all that kind of stuff that had you fall in love with them as an example. No, what you see is you see the pitch blackness, emptiness of the soulless life, i.e. the narcissist. And you see the disdain they have for you with that smirk on their face. This is when you don't have the wisdom. This is when you are still most likely deeply entrenched in the relationship, perhaps still in love, but you don't know what you're up against. Nice train again. This is a smaller train, by the way. But the point being, that's when you don't have the wisdom. And then after time goes by, you're slowly acquiring the wisdom. You found that needle in a haystack. You found my channel. You are becoming awakened and aware, educated and empowered, and you're understanding, wow, this isn't just me that this happened to. There are hundreds of millions of people on the planet that this is affected. Yes, yes, and yes. The thing is, this is your journey. This is your path. This is your life. You must do what benefits you. You must do what you need to do because no one's going to come knock on your door. No one's going to check in on you and say, hey, how you doing? Keep in mind this, post-narcissistic relationship, and actually throughout the whole relationship, you had to play mental jujitsu in your mind because you experienced poor behavior, you tolerated poor behavior, you ignored red flags, you did not trust your intuition and or instincts, and you were falling prey and or you were staying with the narcissist because you thought that you could get back to that euphoric / love bomb stage. We now know that was just a facade. It was nothing but smoke and mirrors, the beginning of the relationship. It was to have you fall in love with them or to have you go into business with them or loan them money or whatever you were going to do. This was the mask. And they knew once they had you and they sank their dirty fangs into you that you were going nowhere. Example, let's say that you were going to procreate, have kids. Well, now they knew that they had you locked down for at least 18 years. Yes, they did. This is the disgusting, twisted mindset of the narcissist. Remember, the narcissist cares about accumulation, accumulating people, accumulating relationships, accumulating broken hearts, accumulating money, accumulating businesses, accumulating your time. That's what they care about. And each and every narcissistic relationship, it's a transaction. There's no genuineness, there's no authenticity, there's no love, there's nothing on their behalf. It's all take, take, take. And eventually, like I shared with you earlier, each and every one of us hits a threshold. Each and every one of us has a breaking point. Each and every one of us eventually will draw the line in the sand and say, wait, I can't do this. I mean, I used to have 0 credit card debt. I was in great shape. I was golfing 5 days a week, owned 2 cars. My mortgage was paid off and I could do whatever I wanted. And now I have $18,000 in credit card debt, multiple surgeries. I can't see properly, no car. My dog is now not with us on the planet. And I am in deep financially. And now I have no support system. Those are just small real life examples. These things happen to people each and every day all over the planet. Here's another bit of wisdom for you. Please take a moment and really understand this part of the message. As I'm creating this video, you perhaps could be going to bed. You perhaps could be waking up to this video. You could be on an airplane. You could be at work. You could be on lunch break. You could be traveling. You could be in the middle of the jungle, the rainforest. You could be in the middle of the wilderness, the woods. You could be on a boat. You could be anywhere. My point is this: as I'm creating this video right now, right this very minute, there are individuals all over the planet who are entering narcissistic relationships and they don't know it. They don't have the wisdom. They don't know what they're getting into. They're being manipulated and taken advantage of. Now, flip the script. Same thing right now as I'm creating this video. All over the globe, there are narcissistic relationships that are ending. Some are ending via discard. Some are ending because the individual is extremely strong and they end it themselves. And some end other ways. Point being, you are one of the fortunate ones because you're on the channel. You're in the community. You're becoming educated. You're understanding that you need to have boundaries. It's not something you hope to acquire. These aren't something you hope to acquire one day. You need to have them, if not now, when. That's one part. The next part is you are one of the fortunate ones because you landed on my channel. You're getting the wisdom. You're understanding in the community with all the comments that there are so many of us out there. We are a tribe. We are a group. We are a community. We all speak the same language, a language we did not expect to speak not until recently, which is the narcissistic abusive cycle language. Now, having said those things, there are so many people that never get the wisdom. There are people that don't know what they're up against. There are people that are trapped and don't think that tomorrow will be a better day. Those people, at one time or period of time, they were you. It was me. But that's not us now. That's why we need to pay it forward. That's why the veterans in the community need to help the newbies out, because the newbies don't know what they're up against to a degree. Each and every day, my hope is the newbies are getting more and more educated. They're understanding more and more, and they're understanding that perhaps they're still in it and they can't see what the veterans can see. Get my message. This whole video is coming full circle. The newbies, take your time, be patient, be calm, be stoic, be centered, focus on yourself. The narcissist won't change. They can't change. They just want to continue to consume you and eventually destroy you. Yes, it may be graphic and seem like that's a little harsh. It's reality. It's exactly what these people want to do. And veterans, again, please share your wisdom in the community. Pay it forward. Remember, at one point you were a newbie just like I was. You're now a seasoned veteran, fortunately or unfortunately, but you need to pay it forward. So guys, when you are in it, you can't see it. That's a fact. That was me. That was each and every one of you. My hope is that each and every day you're getting further and further away from the relationship and you're understanding you are the priority. You come first, second, and third. That is the path. That is what you must do. Understand right now that if you take action, one small step today, and build upon it tomorrow, that your life will improve. Doors will open for you. The abundance is there waiting for you. Put the narcissistic relationship in the past. Do not engage with them if possible. If not, utilize Gray Rock. Guys, that's the video. I hope you liked it. I loved doing it. From the beautiful Carolinas, this is Andrew. Namaste. Have a great afternoon, evening, or morning. No matter where you are on the planet, remember, you are not alone. You are not alone. God bless you. I love you all. And remember, when you are in it, or when you were in it, you couldn't see it, or you can't see it. It's true. It's with virtually anything. Many times, it takes a period of time to separate yourself from a situation or relationship and look back and reflect and say, oh, that's what that meant. Oh, okay. Then you get light bulb moments. Boom, 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 boom. And then you're like, oh my goodness, I am so grateful I'm out of that thing. How did I even go through it? What was I thinking? You were manipulated. You were taken advantage of. You fell for the mask. Guys, remember, no matter where you are on the planet, you're not alone. I love you. I'll talk to you tomorrow. All right. Bye, guys. And I hope you like the train. Bye.